Hello students of 7th standard. We are continuing with 6th chapter, that is administrative system and architecture in the medieval period. In the previous video we had learnt about what is Palya and what is Lok Dayak. We had learnt about administrative system which was carried during that time and how a king was made. Okay, and we had learnt about different literary works by great poet like poet Harsh, poet Mark, and we had also learnt about Sri Hemchandracharya and his work, that is Siddhahem Shabdanushashan. Siddhahem Shabdanushashan was given very much importance during that time. It became famous also, and that is the reason the book was placed on the elephant's back and the king and the villagers walked on the ground and procession was taken off. Okay, in this video we are going to learn further about architecture. Now, what is architecture? Architecture means art and technique of designing buildings. That is architecture. Now, these buildings when we talk about, they consist of palaces, monuments, temples of those times. Okay, when we talk about medieval period, we have to talk about Indian Rajput kings. The Rajput kings were fond of grand and artistic buildings. Now, what do you mean by grand? Grand means which is very large, or you can say huge. So, the monuments used to be very huge, okay, and they were artistic also. Artistic means which is full of skills. You will find so many carvings, pillars, intricate designs on the monuments. That is artistic buildings. And you will find, the artisans have showcased their skills, which was full of creativity. Okay, now these artistic buildings you can find, they are evident from the palaces, forts, temples, lakes, etc. which were made during that time. Now we are starting with the temples which were built during that time by the Rajput kings. The very first one we have Khajuraho temple. Khajuraho temple, it's a beautiful temple in Madhya Pradesh. You will find so many Hindu and Jain temples in it, and it was built between 950 AD to 1050 AD. So it is more than a century back it was built. This monument was recognized by UNESCO and declared as World Heritage. Okay, so that is ancient temple found in Madhya Pradesh. The next temple we are going to talk about, that is Puri temple. Puri temple, that is in Odisha. It is a temple of Lord Jagannath. Jagannath means Jagat ke Nath, the God which is Lord of the whole universe, that is Lord Krishna. So this temple is dedicated to Lord Krishna, and it is famous for its architecture. How the building was made, how the temple was made during that time, it is famous for that, and also the sculpture. What do you mean by sculpture? Sculpture means मूर्ति. तो जो भगवान की मूर्ति है वहाँ पर जगन्नाथ जी की, वो एकदम यूनिक है. Okay, you will not find that type of idol anywhere in the world. After that, same replica of the idol was made. Okay, so that is famous for Lord Krishna's sculpture, and this was built in 12th century. Next one when we talk about, that is Sun temple. Sun temple means Surya Dev ka mandir. So we are going to talk about 3 sun temples in this chapter. The first one is at Konark temple. Now when we talk about the word Konark, Kona means angle and earth means sun, and this is how the word came, Konark. Okay, now this Konark temple is in Odisha. What is the speciality of this temple? The speciality of this temple is that it is shaped like chariot driven by 7 horses. You will find a set of 12 pairs of wheels on the temple and 7 horses. This temple was built in 13th century. The second sun temple is Martand temple. Now this word Martand, that is the Sanskrit synonym for Surya. Okay, so this is temple which is dedicated to Lord Sun, that is Surya. Now this Martand temple is at Kashmir, and it was built in 8th century. Today if you see, only ruins are left over there. Okay, next one we have Modhera Sun temple. This Modhera Sun temple is a very famous sun temple in Gujarat at Mehsana. Okay, and what is the speciality of this temple? The speciality of this temple is that the first sun ray falls directly on the idol. See how minutely and intricately, how delicately they might have worked on the temple infrastructure, that directly the first rays fall on the idol. And this temple was built years ago, that is in 11th century. If you see Modhera Sun Temple, you will find so much of carving on the walls of the temple, and there are episodes from the Ramayana and the Mahabharata, and you will find intricate designs from Krishna Leela also. Next one we have Ellora Caves. Ellora Caves are in Maharashtra. These caves represent three religions: Hinduism, Buddhism and Jainism. So you will find so many temples regarding all these three religions. The famous one is Kailash Temple, okay, which is a temple of Hinduism and that is dedicated to Lord Shiva. If you look at this temple, Kailash, it is so beautifully made and the whole mountain was carved to make this building. And the construction started from top to bottom, which is very unusual. Generally, we do the construction of any building from bottom and then we go towards the top, okay. But here the temple was made from the top and later on went to the bottom of it, okay. So this was about Ellora Caves. Next one we have Elephanta Caves. Elephanta Caves you will find in Mumbai. It is famous for three-face sculpture of Lord Shiva. Okay, when you go to these Elephanta Caves, you will find that three-face sculpture. Sculpture, as I told you, मूर्ति होती है. तो शंकर भगवान की three faces वाली वहाँ पर मूर्ति है, and it is so huge also. That is the main attraction of this Elephanta Caves. And this temple is also, you know, it was also built by carving the whole of mountain, single mountain, and it was built. Now this temple was declared as World Heritage by UNESCO. This Elephanta Caves, they were built 1400 years ago and it took almost 100 years to build it. So we can understand how beautifully and with lot of efforts the artisans have made this caves. Okay, and the next one we have Meenakshi Temple. The Meenakshi Temple at Madurai, that is Tamil Nadu. This Meenakshi Temple is dedicated to Lord Shiva and Parvati Ji. Okay, and this was also built years ago by the kings of Pallava dynasty, and Meenakshi Temple is one of the oldest and the tallest temples of India. Now just let us revise what we have learnt about architecture. See, what is architecture? Architecture means art and technique of designing buildings. So जब building बनानी होती है तो इसका डिजाइनिंग कौन करता है? आर्किटेक्ट करते हैं. ओके, सो आर्किटेक्ट्स फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल डिसाइड व्हाट टू मेक एंड हाउ टू मेक. जैसे हमारा घर अगर हमें बनाना है तो हम एक आर्किटेक्ट को रखते हैं. वो आर्किटेक्ट क्या करता है? हमें पूछकर डिसाइड हम लोग करते हैं कि कहाँ हमारा रूम होगा, लिविंग रूम कहाँ होगा, किचन कहाँ होगा, वेयर विल बी अवर गार्डन एरिया. ऑल दीज थिंग्स फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल वी डिसाइड, एंड आफ्टर डिसाइडिंग ऑल दीज थिंग्स आर्किटेक्ट क्या करता है? धीरे धीरे करके हमारा घर बनाना चालू करता है. इन द सेम वे ईयर्स बैक जब हमें इतने सारे मॉन्यूमेंट्स, टेम्पल्स जब राजाओं को बनाने होते थे तो एक आर्किटेक्ट को हायर करते थे, और वो आर्किटेक्ट क्या करता था? वो डिसाइड करता था कि कैसा मंदिर होगा, कहाँ गर्भगृह होगा, कहाँ पूरे चलने का एरिया होगा, कहाँ पूजा पाठ होगी. These things were first of all decided by the architect, and then the buildings and monuments were built. Okay, so let us revise what we have learned till now about the architecture. First one we had learnt about Khajuraho temple, which is in Madhya Pradesh, which is very beautiful, and you will find so many intricate carving on the whole temple. Next one we had learnt about Puri temple. Puri temple is in Odisha, which is a temple of Lord Jagannath. जब जगन्नाथ की बात करते हैं तो सबसे पहले रथ यात्रा इंडिया में यहाँ शुरू हुई थी, और सबसे बड़ी रथ यात्रा आज भी वहाँ पर निकलती है. उसके बाद धीरे धीरे करके अलग अलग स्टेट्स ने रथ यात्रा का प्रोग्राम चालू किया. ओके, सो वी विल रिमेंबर पुरी, ओडिशा, विच इज फेमस फॉर जगन्नाथ टेम्पल एंड रथ यात्रा. Next one, Sun Temple. There are 3 Sun Temples. The first one is at Konark. मैंने आपको मीनिंग बताया कोणार्क नाम कैसे आया. Okay, and it is in Odisha. This is a beautiful temple where you will find a chariot driven by 7 horses. Chariot यानी रथ होता है. तो आप देखोगे वो मंदिर को दूर से तो आपको लगेगा एक बड़ा सा रथ है जो 7 horses उसको खींच के लेकर जा रहे हैं. Okay, and you will find 12 pairs of wheels also. Okay, that is a huge vast area of temple. Next one we have Martan temple. This is again a sun temple which is at Kashmir. बहुत पुराना टेम्पल है. आज अगर आप देखोगे तो सिर्फ वहां पर ruins है टेम्पल के. Nothing more you will find over there. And the third one which is very famous, that is Modhera Sun Temple, that is of Gujarat. Okay. Now what you have to remember, Modhera Sun Temple जो है वो west of India में है. And this temple, Konark Temple, that is in east of India. And Martan Temple, north of India. So you have to remember East India, West India and North India for these three sun temples. Very interesting information about Modhera Sun Temple is that over Modhera Sun Temple, Tropic of Cancer passes. Okay. Okay, next we have learnt about Ellora caves. It's a big cave where you will find so many temples about 3 religions, and the famous one and the huge one is Kailash temple, which is very beautifully made right from the top to the bottom. Okay. नेक्स्ट वन वी हैव लर्नड अबाउट एलिफेंटा केव्स. मुंबई से थोड़ा आपको दूर जाना पड़ेगा, एक आइलैंड पे है, वो आइलैंड को एलिफेंटा आइलैंड्स कहते हैं. ओके, सो यू हैव टू हायर अ बोट और यू हैव टू गो बाय अ क्रूज, और वहां पर आप जाकर देखोगे बहुत सारे वहां पर आपको स्कल्पचर्स दिखेंगे. बट द फेमस वन इज ऑफ लॉर्ड शिव, जहां पर उनके 3 फेसेस हैं एंड इट इज वेरी ह्यूज ऑल्सो. And the next one we have Meenakshi temple. Meenakshi temple is the tallest and the oldest temple of India. You will find at Madurai, Tamil Nadu. If you see at the carving and other things, you know it is so beautifully and it is colorful. So this is what we have learnt about architecture. You have to remember the details of all these temples, and in detail you will learn all these things in the higher grades also. Now we have learnt about architecture. One more point about architecture is that the entrance of South Indian temples, they were very huge, very giant, okay, and they were known as Gopurams. They were also very beautifully intricated with the different sculptures. You will find small idols on it, okay, and those are known as Gopurams. Next one, the fame of all these grand temples, you know, they attracted the foreign invaders and they started to loot in India. See, after making so many big huge monuments, the foreigners, you know, they came to know that the king of this land, that is India, they are very rich. They have so much of prosperity with them. So they thought, why not to go and loot it? And they started to come to India and they started looting it. Okay. Now, among them is Somnath temple, which was looted many a times. 17 times this temple was looted, and so much of gold, precious gems, diamonds were taken away by these people and they took it to their country back. Okay, among that we had Mahmud Ghazni, who had looted Somnath temple many a times. अगर आप इंडिया की हिस्ट्री देखोगे तो सोमनाथ टेम्पल इतनी बार लूटा गया था फॉरेन इन्वेडर्स से, हर बार हमारे किंग्स उसको रिकंस्ट्रक्ट करते थे, बहुत सारे पैसे देकर खर्च करके उसको वापस बनाते, एंड whenever these foreign invaders came, they again ruined all these things. So many a times, you know, protecting Somnath temple was a big task for our Rajput kings. Now let us understand about Mahmud Ghazni. Mahmud Ghazni was a ruler of Ghazna, that is Afghanistan. Now when we talk about that era, our Rajput kings, they were known for valor and sacrifice. Okay, now valor means bravery. So the Rajput kings were known, the Rajput age is known for the bravery and courage, sacrifice of the Rajput kings. We had learnt in 4th chapter also the characteristics of Rajput king, if you remember. Okay, it is given on page number 21. See, The Rajput kings, they die but never fear. They protect those who seek refuge. Okay, they fight for their kingdom. अगर कभी जान भी दे देनी होती थी kingdom के लिए तो वो भी खुशी खुशी दे देते थे. So everything was about that prestige. So we had learned about the characteristics of Rajput kings of Rajput age. Now these Rajput kings constructed many beautiful buildings, monuments, and because of that they got name and fame in the world. And that is how the invaders came to India and attacked India many a times. Okay, as I told you that Somnath temple was looted so many times. Like this, other invaders also came to India and they wanted to plunder as much as they could from India. Now, when we talk about Mahmud Ghazni, he felt many difficulties. He had to face many difficulties because he was from Afghanistan. Coming from Afghanistan to Gujarat, that is a distance of almost 1300 kilometers. Crossing that much long distance during that time when we did not have mode of transportation. Okay, so crossing 1300 kilometers and coming to India, he continued doing that also. Even though he was facing problem, he continued to plunder India many times. During that time, Bhimdev Solanki was ruling over Gujarat and he attacked Gujarat and he started to plunder Somnath. Bhimdev Solanki was a very brave and ambitious king. He tried to stop him many a times. Even the people of Gujarat, the nearby regions, जो दूसरे आजू बाजू किंगडम के जो राजा थे उन्होंने भी बहुत ट्राई किया, भीमदेव सोलंकी को हेल्प की एंड द अदर प्लेसेस ऑफ गुजरात ऑल्सो. सब लोगों ने मिलकर भीमदेव सोलंकी को हेल्प करने का ट्राई किया कि कैसे लूटने से बचाया जाए, बट दे फेल्ड. Okay, Mahmud Ghazni was very strong. He had a large army and he was very much ambitious कि अगर एक बार हम गुजरात जाएंगे तो बहुत कुछ लूट के आएंगे. And every time he came and looted in Gujarat. Yes, see on page number 32. After the demise of Mahmud Ghazni, the leader of Ghazna, he was the leader of Ghazna, started vying for the throne. However, the Rajput kings did not take advantage of this weakness. जब महमूद गजनी धीरे धीरे करके वीक होने लगा तो दूसरे बहुत सारे रूलर्स गजना में उसके ऊपर अटैक करने लगे. ओके, दे वांटेड टू बी एट द थ्रोन. तो हमारे राजपूत किंग्स ने भी देखा कि व्हाट वाज द सिचुएशन ऑफ महमूद गजनी, पर हमने उनका एडवांटेज नहीं लिया. आफ्टर दैट मीनवाइल शहाबुद्दीन गोरी established this strong rule in Ghazna and decided to attack India. Now, after Mahmud Ghazni, we had Shahabuddin Ghori who came to the throne of Ghazna. तो महमूद गजनी जब इंडिया में आया तो he only came to plunder, he came to loot India. But when Shahabuddin Ghori came to India, he did not come to loot. He actually came to rule. He wanted to establish his rule in India. He wanted to capture as much as part he could from Gujarat to north of India. And like this he came here and he became the Sultan of it. Now during that time what happened? In Anilwad Patan, Queen Naiki Devi was ruling. So when Mahmud Ghori came and attacked on Patan, Queen Naiki Devi defeated him. Now there is also a small story related to this. Queen Naiki Devi was the wife of King Ajaypala, who was the king of Chalukya dynasty. This king died at a very young age. His son Mulraj was very young when his father died. So Queen Naiki Devi thought that let me take control of the kingdom. I will take care of my kingdom. And she started doing the administrative work and she became the queen of that kingdom. Now, Shahabuddin Ghori thought that Anilwad Patan doesn't have a king. And his son, who is very small. So it will be very easy for me to go and conquer over Gujarat, the nearby places of Patan. So he came to Gujarat and he thought that Queen Naiki Devi is a lady. She will not be able to do anything. And it will be very easy for me to capture this place. And this is how he came and attacked her. But he never thought that Queen Naiki Devi, she is so strong lady. Okay, only and solely she defeated Shahabuddin Ghori. Shahabuddin Ghori had a very bad defeat and he never thought of coming back to Anilwad Patan. So till the time Queen Naiki Devi was alive, he never came to Gujarat again. Years after, he thought that I should go to Delhi. Now Delhi was ruled by Prithviraj Chauhan. If you remember, we had learned this Prithviraj Chauhan and Shahabuddin Ghori in the 4th chapter. I had told you about Battle of Tarain first and Battle of Tarain second. See, in Battle of Tarain first, Prithviraj Chauhan had defeated Shahabuddin Ghori. But what happened? After again came to Delhi and he attacked on Prithviraj Chauhan. That was in Battle Tarain II. In Battle Tarain II, Shahabuddin Ghori had all of a sudden came to attack him. So Prithviraj Chauhan was not so prepared. Okay, and because of that, Shahabuddin Ghori defeated Prithviraj Chauhan. See, it is given on page number 19. Third paragraph. The rulers of Chauhan dynasty captured Delhi, the capital of Tomar kings, and established their supremacy. Prithviraj III or Rai Pitora was a powerful ruler of the Chauhan dynasty. Okay, and come to page number 32. Here it is mentioned under the heading Change of Power at Delhi, third paragraph. Prithviraj fought bravely without any prior preparation or help from the other Rajput kings. With his defeat, the Rajput rule came to an end in Delhi. Okay, Prithviraj Chauhan tried his level best to conquer over Shahabuddin Ghori's army, but as they had come surprisingly, they were not so prepared, and this is how the Rajput rule came to an end in Delhi. Now, after Shahabuddin Ghori ruled over Delhi, we had Qutbuddin Aibak who came later. Now this Qutbuddin Aibak was a slave of Shahabuddin Ghori, commander. Okay, so he started with slave dynasty, जिसे हम गुलाम dynasty भी कहते हैं. So the founder of slave dynasty was Qutbuddin Aibak. Now, when we talk about Rajput kings during the medieval period, instead of valor and sacrifice, the scenario completely changed. Valor, as I told you, it is bravery. Okay, so the kings of Rajput, they were full of bravery, they were ambitious, they were courageous. Okay, instead of all these things, conspiracy started. People started to conspire for the throne. People wanted to control over India, so for that everyone started fighting for the throne. And the throne of Delhi was stained with blood. What do you mean by stained with blood? Stained with blood means bloodshed. जो दिल्ली की थ्रोन थी वो खून से लथपथ हो गई. Everyone started conspiring each other. There were n number of battles. So many people were killed, and this is how kings kept on waging many wars for the throne of Delhi. So here we complete our chapter. Okay, on page number 33 we have question answers. I have written all the main points on the board which we have to write in the CW. Go through the textbook and videos and find out the answers for the questions given. Okay, every question I have discussed in the videos. Question number 2 we have MCQs. Okay, I have written the answer on the board. Choose the correct option and answer the following questions. First one, who appointed Kumar Pal as the king? On the first page of the chapter we had learned that the Kumar Pal was appointed by Council of Ministers. So this is the right answer. Second one, which grammar book was written by Jain Acharya Hemchandracharya? The right answer is option A, Siddhahem Shabdanushashan. If you remember, I told you, Siddh, that is related to King Siddharaj Jaisingh, and Hemchandracharya himself. Okay, that is how the word came, Siddhahem, and Shabdanushashan, where the birds were ruling. Okay. Third one, where is Khajuraho temple? This we have learned in this video. It is in Madhya Pradesh. And the fourth one, who was the first Sultan of Delhi of slave dynasty? That is Qutbuddin Aibak. So fourth answer will be B option, Qutbuddin Aibak. So you have to write all the question answers and MCQ in your notebook.